Get ready to meet a truly remarkable Stoic philosopher, Epictetus. His life's journey began in the unforgiving grasp of slavery, a path laden with adversity from the very beginning. Yet, what sets Epictetus apart is his unwavering triumph over these daunting challenges, a testament to the resilience ingrained in Stoic philosophy. In the face of circumstances that most would find unbearable, he stood unshaken. Epictetus lived by a profound Stoic principle. Real strength comes from mastering your own thoughts and reactions, not yielding to the whims of external events. It's a concept that resonates deeply with the human experience. Epictetus rose to prominence as a philosopher, spreading the teachings of Stoicism and influencing many. He stressed the significance of living in harmony with nature and controlling our desires. His lessons act as a roadmap to achieving tranquility and satisfaction, regardless of life's hurdles. Whenever you face life's trials or seek a deeper meaning in life, remember Epictetus. His life story and Stoic insights can be a guiding light in murky times, aiding you in traversing your path with resilience and inner fortitude. As we dive into the 50 essential rules of Stoicism and the wisdom of Epictetus, I invite you to engage fully with each insightful principle. Your dedication to understanding and applying these teachings sets you apart. If this journey through Stoic philosophy resonates with you, please show your support by liking, subscribing, and sharing this video. Let's spread the transformative power of Stoicism together. 1. Power over mind. The concept of power over mind in Stoicism emphasizes the importance of focusing on what we can control, our thoughts and reactions. This principle teaches us that while we may not have control over every external event, we do hold the power to choose how we respond to these events. It's about understanding that our inner world is shaped not by what happens to us, but by how we interpret and react to these happenings. Practicing power over mind means cultivating a mindset where we acknowledge our limitations in controlling external factors and instead redirect our energy towards managing our thoughts, emotions, and actions. This approach leads to a more centered and peaceful life where we are less disturbed by outside chaos and more in tune with our inner selves. 2. Amor Fati. Embrace your fate. Amor Fati, or embrace your fate, is a Stoic call to not only accept but also love everything that life brings, including challenges and setbacks. This philosophy encourages us to view every circumstance, whether perceived as good or bad, as an opportunity to grow and evolve. It's about shifting our perspective to see the hidden gifts in all of life's experiences. Embracing one's fate isn't about passivity or resignation, but about an active acceptance and finding joy in the journey, regardless of its twists and turns. It involves recognizing that even in adversity, there is potential for learning and growth. This principle fosters resilience and a positive outlook, turning obstacles into stepping stones for personal development. 3. Serve others. Contribute to the common good. The Stoic principle of serving others revolves around the idea that contributing to the welfare of others is not only an act of selflessness, but also a path to personal fulfillment. This rule emphasizes the interconnectedness of individuals in a community and posits that our well-being is tied to the well-being of others. By helping others, we not only improve their lives, but also enrich our own. Engaging in acts of service can range from small, everyday gestures to larger, more impactful actions. It's about fostering a sense of community and understanding that our actions can create ripples of positivity. When we focus on contributing to the common good, we build a more compassionate and empathetic society, and in turn, find deeper meaning and satisfaction in our own lives. 4. Memento Mori. remember your mortality. Memento Mori, a Latin phrase that means remember you will die, serves as a Stoic reminder of the impermanence of life. This principle encourages us to live with a sense of urgency, appreciating each moment and making the most of our time on earth. It is a call to focus on what truly matters, to live authentically, and to cherish the finite nature of our existence. Far from being morbid, remembering our mortality inspires us to live more fully. It's a prompt to make meaningful choices, to let go of trivial concerns, and to prioritize relationships and experiences that bring genuine joy and fulfillment. This awareness of life's brevity can be a powerful motivator to live in a way that, at the end of our journey, leaves us with no regrets. 5. Self-discipline, your internal compass. Self-discipline in Stoicism is viewed as an internal compass that guides us in making choices that align with our values and long-term goals. It is about having the inner strength to stay the course, even when distractions or temptations arise. This self-discipline is crucial for personal growth and achieving success in various aspects of life, be it in our careers, personal health, or relationships. Developing self-discipline involves creating and sticking to routines, setting boundaries, and practicing self-control. It's about being consistent in our efforts and not letting temporary setbacks deter us from our path. This quality helps in building resilience, ensuring that we are not swayed by momentary impulses, but are steadily working towards our envisioned future. 6. Morning routine, your blueprint for success. Establishing a morning routine is seen as laying the foundation for a successful day in Stoic practice. This routine is more than just the first activities of the day. It's a deliberate set of practices that set the tone for how the rest of the day unfolds, whether it involves meditation, exercise, or planning the day's tasks. A morning routine is about starting with intention and focus. A consistent morning routine has the power to significantly impact our overall productivity and mindset. It provides a sense of control and order, preparing us mentally and physically for the challenges ahead. This routine acts as a daily reset, ensuring that we approach each day with clarity and purpose, ready to maximize our potential. 7. Essentialism, simplify your life. Essentialism in Stoicism is about simplifying life by focusing on what is truly important and letting go of the rest. This concept encourages us to declutter our lives, not just in a physical sense, but also mentally and emotionally. By identifying and concentrating on what genuinely matters, we can invest our energy and time more wisely, leading to a more fulfilling and less chaotic life. Practicing essentialism involves being mindful of our choices and commitments. It's about saying no to unnecessary distractions and engagements that do not align with our core values or contribute positively to our lives. This approach helps in reducing stress and increases our ability to focus on our goals, leading to greater productivity and a more balanced lifestyle. 8. Adaptability, embrace change. Adaptability, in the Stoic sense, is the ability to adjust and respond effectively to changes in our environment. It's recognizing that life is unpredictable and that being flexible is key to coping with unforeseen challenges. Embracing change, rather than resisting it, allows us to navigate life's uncertainties with a more positive and open mindset. Being adaptable involves a willingness to pivot strategies, develop new skills, and entertain different perspectives when circumstances change. It's about being resilient in the face of adversity, learning from experiences, and using them as opportunities for growth. This adaptability not only helps in personal development, but also makes us more capable of handling whatever life throws our way. 9. Action over information, turning dreams into reality. The principle of action over information emphasizes the importance of putting knowledge into practice. In a world abundant with information, this Stoic rule reminds us that real transformation and achievement come from taking action. It's about moving beyond passive learning and actively applying what we've learned to make our dreams and goals a reality. This approach involves breaking down our goals into actionable steps and consistently working towards them. It's not enough to just accumulate knowledge. We need to use it as a tool for change. By prioritizing action, we can turn potential into tangible outcomes and ensure that our learning translates into meaningful progress in our personal and professional lives. 10. Tolerance with strictness, balancing compassion and self-improvement. Tolerance with strictness is about striking a balance between being understanding and compassionate towards others while being disciplined and rigorous with oneself. This Stoic rule teaches us to practice empathy and patience in our interactions, recognizing that everyone is on their unique journey while also maintaining high standards for our personal development. In practicing this principle, we learn to be kind and forgiving towards others' mistakes or shortcomings, offering support instead of judgment. Simultaneously, we hold ourselves accountable for our growth, pushing our limits and striving to be the best versions of ourselves. This balanced approach not only fosters harmonious relationships, but also drives us towards continual self-improvement. 11. Resilience, bouncing back from life's challenges. Resilience, a key Stoic virtue, is the ability to recover and bounce back from adversity. It's about facing life's inevitable challenges head-on and using them as fuel for personal growth and strength. This principle teaches us that setbacks and obstacles are not roadblocks, but rather stepping stones to becoming more robust and adaptable individuals. Building resilience involves developing a mindset that views difficulties as learning opportunities. It requires practicing patience, maintaining a positive outlook, and seeking solutions rather than dwelling on problems. By cultivating resilience, we equip ourselves to handle future challenges more effectively, emerging from each experience stronger and more capable. 12. Empathy, understanding others. Empathy in Stoicism is the practice of putting ourselves in others' shoes, striving to understand their perspectives and emotions. It's about extending our compassion to understand the struggles and joys of those around us. This quality is essential in building meaningful and deep connections with others, as it fosters a sense of shared humanity and compassion. Practicing empathy involves active listening, open-mindedness, and the suspension of quick judgments. It's about acknowledging that each person's experience is valid and unique. By cultivating empathy, we not only enrich our relationships, but also develop a more inclusive and understanding perspective towards the diverse tapestry of human experiences. 13. Mindfulness, being present in the moment. Mindfulness, according to Stoic philosophy, involves being fully present and engaged in the current moment. It's about appreciating the here and now, without being overly fixated on the past or anxious about the future. This practice helps in reducing stress and increases our overall sense of well-being by anchoring us in the present. Implementing mindfulness can be as simple as focusing on our breathing, being aware of our surroundings, or immersing ourselves completely in a task. It's about observing our thoughts and feelings without judgment. Embracing mindfulness leads to a more peaceful and centered life, enabling us to enjoy life's simple pleasures and face challenges with a calm and clear mind. 14. Purpose, guiding your life. Finding and following a purpose is a central theme in Stoicism. It's about discovering what drives us, what gives our life meaning, and aligning our actions accordingly. This guiding principle serves as a compass, helping us make decisions and set goals that resonate with our deepest values and aspirations. Living with a sense of purpose gives our lives direction and fulfillment. It involves introspection and sometimes trial and error as we explore different paths and activities that make us feel most alive and engaged. Once we identify our purpose, it propels us forward, giving us a reason to face each day with enthusiasm and commitment. 15. Continuous learning. Never stop growing. Continuous learning is a concept highly valued in Stoicism, emphasizing the never-ending journey of personal growth and development. It's about maintaining a curious and open mind, always seeking new knowledge, skills, and experiences. This principle suggests that personal growth is a lifelong endeavor and that there are always new horizons to explore. Engaging in continuous learning means embracing challenges as opportunities to learn, seeking feedback, and being willing to adapt and change. It's about stepping out of our comfort zones, experimenting with new ideas, and always looking for ways to expand our understanding of the world and ourselves. This approach keeps us mentally sharp and adaptable, ready to navigate the complexities of life. 16. Gratitude, counting your blessings. Gratitude in Stoicism is about recognizing and appreciating the good in our lives, focusing on what we have rather than what we lack. It's a practice of regularly reflecting on the positives, big and small, which fosters a sense of contentment and joy. By acknowledging the blessings in our lives, we shift our perspective from scarcity to abundance. Cultivating gratitude can be as simple as keeping a gratitude journal or taking a moment each day to reflect on things we're thankful for. This practice not only enhances our mood and well-being, but also helps in building resilience by providing a buffer against negative thoughts and feelings. Gratitude strengthens our relationships and improves our overall outlook on life. 17. Patience, mastering the art of waiting. Patience, a virtue extolled by Stoics, is the ability to endure delay, trouble, or suffering without becoming agitated or upset. It's about accepting that some things in life take time and cannot be rushed. This principle teaches us to approach situations with calmness and composure, understanding that patience often leads to better outcomes. Developing patience involves practicing self-control, managing our expectations, and learning to find peace in the process of waiting. It's about embracing the journey, not just the destination. Patience in our interactions with others fosters kindness and understanding, while patience with ourselves promotes personal growth and self-compassion. 18. Kindness, small acts, big impact. Kindness, in the Stoic sense, involves performing acts of compassion and consideration, no matter how small, to positively impact others' lives. It's about recognizing that every act of kindness, be it a simple smile, a helping hand, or a kind word, can have a profound effect on someone's day. This practice of kindness contributes to a more empathetic and connected world. Practicing kindness also extends to how we treat ourselves. It involves being gentle and forgiving with our own mistakes and shortcomings. By cultivating kindness in our daily lives, we not only bring joy and comfort to those around us, but also nurture our well-being, creating a positive cycle of generosity and gratitude. 19. Courage, facing your fears. Courage in Stoicism is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act despite it. It's about confronting challenges, speaking up for what is right, and pursuing our goals, even when it seems daunting. Courage involves acknowledging our fears, but not letting them dictate our actions. Building courage can start with small steps, like voicing an unpopular opinion or trying something new. It's about stretching our comfort zones and standing up for our values. As we practice courage in various aspects of life, we gain confidence and resilience, equipping us to tackle larger challenges and lead more authentic and fulfilling lives. 20. Simplicity, less is more. Simplicity, as advocated by Stoics, is the practice of focusing on the essentials and eliminating the superfluous. It's about appreciating the beauty and value in the simple things in life and avoiding the complications that come with excess and clutter. This principle encourages a life of clarity, where our choices and environment reflect only what truly matters to us. Embracing simplicity involves reassessing our priorities, decluttering our physical spaces, and streamlining our daily routines. It's about finding contentment with what we have and resisting the constant pursuit of more. By adopting a simpler lifestyle, we reduce stress and distractions, making space for more meaningful activities and relationships. 21. Honesty, the foundation of trust. Honesty in Stoicism is regarded as the cornerstone of trust and integrity. It's about being truthful in our words and actions, even when it's challenging. This principle asserts that honesty is not just a moral duty, but also a foundation for building strong, trustworthy relationships. Honesty promotes transparency and authenticity, allowing us to live with a clear conscience. Practicing honesty involves communicating our true thoughts and feelings, admitting our mistakes, and being genuine in our interactions. It's about striving for sincerity rather than deceit, even in small matters. By valuing honesty, we cultivate a life of integrity and earn the respect and trust of those around us, creating a more straightforward and fulfilling life. 22. Healthy lifestyle, caring for body and mind. A healthy lifestyle is a key Stoic value, emphasizing the importance of taking care of both our physical and mental well-being. This holistic approach includes regular physical activity, a balanced diet, and mental self-care practices like meditation or mindfulness. The Stoics believed that a healthy body supports a healthy mind and vice versa, thus enhancing our ability to live according to our principles. Engaging in a healthy lifestyle means making conscious choices that benefit our overall health and well-being. It involves listening to our body's needs, managing stress, and seeking balance in our daily routines. By prioritizing our health, we equip ourselves with the energy and strength needed to face life's challenges and pursue our goals with vigor and resilience. 23. Forgiveness, letting go of resentment. Forgiveness is a Stoic practice of releasing anger and resentment toward others, an act of freeing oneself from the burden of negative emotions. It involves understanding that holding on to grudges harms us more than it does others. Forgiveness is not about condoning wrong actions, but about choosing peace and emotional freedom for oneself. The act of forgiving requires empathy, understanding, and a conscious decision to let go of past hurts. It's recognizing that everyone makes mistakes and that clinging to bitterness only prolongs our suffering. By embracing forgiveness, we open the door to healing and reconciliation, improving our emotional well-being and our relationships. 24. Respect, treating others with dignity. Respect in Stoicism is about treating everyone with dignity and consideration, regardless of their status or background. It's acknowledging the inherent worth of every individual and interacting in a way that honors this value. This principle promotes harmony and understanding in a diverse world, encouraging us to approach each interaction with a sense of empathy and equity. Practicing respect involves active listening, being open to differing viewpoints, and refraining from judgment or disrespect. It's about creating an inclusive environment where everyone feels valued and heard. By showing respect to others, we foster positive relationships and contribute to a more compassionate and understanding society. 25. Optimism, a brighter perspective. Optimism in Stoic philosophy is about maintaining a hopeful and positive outlook, even in difficult times. It's the belief that, despite challenges, things can improve, and that we have the power to influence positive outcomes. This perspective doesn't ignore reality, but chooses to focus on potential and possibilities rather than limitations and despair. Cultivating optimism involves reframing our thoughts, looking for silver linings in challenging situations, and focusing on what we can control. It's about approaching life with a can-do attitude and a belief in our own resilience. An optimistic mindset can significantly affect our overall happiness and ability to cope with stress, making us more resilient in the face of adversity. 26. Responsibility, owning your choices. Taking responsibility for our choices and actions is a central Stoic value. It means accepting the consequences of our decisions and understanding that our actions shape our lives. This principle teaches us to be the authors of our own stories, acknowledging that we have the power to influence our path and outcomes. Practicing responsibility involves making informed decisions, acknowledging our mistakes, and learning from them. It's about being accountable for our actions and their impact on ourselves and others. Owning up to our responsibilities empowers us to make positive changes and leads to a more authentic and self-determined life. 27. Balance, harmony in all things. Balance, according to Stoicism, is about finding harmony in all aspects of life: work, relationships, personal growth, and leisure. It's the understanding that focusing too heavily on one area can lead to neglect in others, causing disharmony and dissatisfaction. This principle encourages a well-rounded approach to life, ensuring that no single aspect dominates at the expense of others. Achieving balance involves setting priorities, managing time effectively, and being mindful of our needs in different life areas. It's about recognizing when to push forward and when to pull back, ensuring that our efforts are distributed in a way that promotes overall well-being and fulfillment. A balanced life reduces stress and enhances our capacity to enjoy life's diverse experiences. 28. Focus, one task at a time. Focus in Stoicism is the ability to concentrate on one task at a time, resisting distractions and multitasking. It's about being fully present and engaged in the current activity, which leads to greater efficiency and quality of work. This principle teaches us that scattering our attention leads to superficial results, whereas focused efforts yield deeper and more meaningful outcomes. Cultivating focus requires discipline and mindfulness. It involves setting clear goals, minimizing distractions, and practicing concentration. By developing a strong focus, we enhance our productivity and effectiveness in tasks, leading to a more accomplished and satisfying life. 29. Humility, embracing your imperfections. Humility in Stoicism is about acknowledging our limitations and imperfections. It's an understanding that we don't have all the answers and that there's always room for growth and learning. This principle promotes a teachable spirit, openness to feedback, and the ability to admit when we are wrong. Practicing humility involves putting aside ego, embracing our flaws, and valuing others' perspectives and knowledge. It's about being grounded and recognizing our place in the larger scheme of things. Humility allows us to connect more authentically with others and fosters a sense of mutual respect and learning. 30. Adapt to change. Embrace the flow of life. Adapting to change is a Stoic principle that recognizes life's constant flux. It's about being flexible and responsive to life's evolving circumstances. This adaptability is likened to being a skilled navigator, adjusting our course as needed, without resistance. Embracing change involves accepting that change is a natural part of life and an opportunity for growth. Developing adaptability means staying open to new experiences, being willing to adjust our plans, and finding innovative solutions to challenges. It's about letting go of rigid expectations and embracing the journey, whatever direction it may take. Adapting to change makes us more resilient and better equipped to handle the unpredictability of life. 31. Mindset, the power of perspective. The concept of mindset in Stoicism highlights the power of our perspective in shaping our reality. A growth mindset, in particular, is the belief that we can develop and improve through dedication and hard work. It's about seeing challenges as opportunities to learn and evolve, rather than as insurmountable obstacles. This approach transforms how we engage with the world, turning potential setbacks into stepping stones for personal development. Cultivating a growth mindset involves embracing change, seeking out learning opportunities, and viewing failures as lessons rather than defeats. It's about replacing self-limiting beliefs with empowering thoughts, which in turn drives us to pursue our goals with more tenacity and optimism. This mental shift not only enhances our ability to overcome difficulties, but also leads to a more fulfilling and successful life. 32. Self-reflection, the mirror of the soul. Self-reflection, a key Stoic practice, involves introspection to understand our thoughts, emotions, and actions better. It's like looking into a mirror for the soul, offering a chance to evaluate and comprehend our inner selves. This process of self-examination is crucial for personal growth, as it helps us identify areas where we can improve and align our actions with our values. Engaging in regular self-reflection enables us to make more mindful decisions, learn from our experiences, and cultivate inner peace. It can be practiced through journaling, meditation, or simply spending quiet time in contemplation. By regularly examining our lives and choices, we gain deeper insights into our motivations and behaviors, fostering a greater sense of self-awareness and purpose. 33. Acceptance of imperfection, embracing humanity. Acceptance of imperfection is a Stoic principle that recognizes the flawed nature of human existence. It's about giving ourselves permission to be imperfect and understanding that mistakes are a natural part of the human experience. This acceptance is crucial for fostering self-compassion and preventing the pursuit of unattainable perfection, which can lead to frustration and dissatisfaction. Practicing this principle involves acknowledging our shortcomings, learning from them, and moving forward without excessive self-criticism. It's about striking a balance between striving for improvement and being gentle with ourselves when we fall short. Embracing our imperfections leads to more realistic self-expectations, healthier self-esteem, and a more compassionate attitude towards ourselves and others. 34. Invest in learning, the currency of growth. Investing in learning is about continuously expanding our knowledge and skills, viewing education as a lifelong endeavor. It's like filling a treasure chest with valuable jewels of wisdom and experience. This principle encourages us to approach life with a learner's mindset, always open to new ideas and perspectives. Continuous learning keeps us engaged, adaptable, and forward-thinking. This investment can take many forms, from formal education to self-taught skills and hobbies. It's about seeking out opportunities for growth, whether through books, courses, workshops, or real-life experiences. By committing to ongoing learning, we not only enhance our personal and professional capabilities, but also keep our minds active and vibrant, enriching our lives in the process. 35. Admire others. Recognize and celebrate. Admiring others involves recognizing and celebrating the talents, achievements, and qualities of those around us. It's like appreciating a beautiful piece of art, acknowledging the effort and skill that went into its creation. This principle encourages us to look beyond ourselves and appreciate the greatness in others, fostering a sense of respect and positivity in our relationships. Practicing admiration means actively noticing and acknowledging the strengths and successes of others. It's about offering genuine compliments, showing appreciation, and learning from the examples set by others. By admiring others, we not only build stronger, more supportive connections, but also open ourselves to inspiration and motivation from their achievements and attributes. 36. Love unconditionally, a heart without conditions. Unconditional love is about loving others deeply and selflessly, without expectations or conditions. It's a boundless wellspring of affection and acceptance, offering love for who the person is, not for what they do or provide in return. This form of love fosters deep, authentic connections, as it is free from judgment and based on pure acceptance. Practicing unconditional love involves patience, understanding, and the ability to forgive. It's about supporting and caring for others despite their flaws or mistakes. This kind of love enriches our relationships, bringing a sense of warmth and belonging, and creating a strong foundation for lasting bonds. 37. Cultivate relationships, nurturing bonds. Cultivating relationships is akin to tending a garden. It requires consistent care and effort to thrive. It's about investing time and energy in nurturing connections with family, friends, and loved ones. This principle underscores the importance of relationships in our lives and the role they play in our happiness and well-being. Nurturing relationships involves communication, empathy, and being present for others. It's about celebrating successes together, providing support during challenges, and finding joy in shared experiences. By actively cultivating our relationships, we create a supportive network that enhances our lives, offering love, companionship, and a sense of community. 38. Punctuality, respecting time. Punctuality is a form of respect for others' time as well as our own. It demonstrates reliability and consideration, showing that we value the commitments we make. Being punctual enhances our credibility and builds trust in our professional and personal relationships. It's a simple yet powerful way to show that we take our responsibilities and the people we interact with seriously. Practicing punctuality involves planning ahead, being organized, and setting priorities. It's about acknowledging the importance of time and managing it effectively to fulfill our commitments. Punctuality not only improves our reputation, but also reduces stress, as it helps us avoid the rush and pressure of being late. 39. Graciousness, poise, and elegance. Graciousness in Stoicism is about maintaining poise and elegance, especially in challenging situations. It involves responding to adversity or rudeness with calmness and kindness, rather than reacting in kind. Graciousness is a mark of maturity and self-control, showcasing our ability to handle difficult situations with composure and dignity. Being gracious means being courteous, polite, and considerate, regardless of how others behave. It's about rising above pettiness or anger and choosing to respond with understanding and empathy. This approach not only diffuses tension, but also reflects positively on our character, earning us respect and admiration from others. 40. Savor moments. Find joy in the present. Savoring moments is about fully engaging with and appreciating the present. It's like sipping fine wine slowly, taking in each flavor and aroma. This principle encourages us to be mindful and find joy in the small, often overlooked aspects of our daily lives. By savoring these moments, we deepen our experience of life, finding contentment and beauty in the ordinary. Practicing savoring involves being present and attentive, whether enjoying a meal, spending time with loved ones, or experiencing nature. It's about slowing down, letting go of distractions, and immersing ourselves in the current experience. This mindful approach enhances our appreciation of life's simple pleasures, leading to a more fulfilling and joyful existence. 41. Environmental awareness, caring for our planet. Environmental awareness as a Stoic value emphasizes the importance of being a responsible caretaker of our planet. It involves making conscious choices that positively impact the Earth, understanding that our actions have consequences for the environment. This principle advocates for a sustainable lifestyle, encouraging us to minimize our carbon footprint and protect the natural world. Practicing environmental awareness can range from simple daily actions like recycling and conserving water to larger efforts like supporting eco-friendly policies and businesses. It's about recognizing our role in the larger ecosystem and taking steps to preserve the planet for future generations. By being environmentally conscious, we contribute to a healthier, more sustainable world, ensuring that the beauty and resources of our planet are maintained for years to come. 42. Generosity, a heart of giving. Generosity is about sharing our resources, be it time, knowledge, or material wealth, freely and without expecting anything in return. This Stoic virtue is likened to an overflowing fountain of kindness, where the act of giving enriches both the giver and the receiver. It fosters a sense of community and goodwill, creating a positive impact that extends beyond the immediate act. Embracing generosity involves looking for opportunities to help and contribute to others' well-being. It's about being open-hearted and selfless, finding joy in the act of giving. Generosity not only benefits those on the receiving end, but also enhances the giver's sense of purpose and satisfaction, reinforcing a cycle of kindness and compassion in society. 43. Inner peace, harmony within. Inner peace in Stoicism is the ability to maintain tranquility and serenity within oneself, regardless of external circumstances. It's about finding a calm center in the midst of life's challenges and disturbances. This state of inner harmony is essential for clear thinking, effective decision-making, and overall well-being. Achieving inner peace involves practices like mindfulness, meditation, and reflection. It's about managing our thoughts and emotions, not allowing external events to disrupt our inner calm. Cultivating inner peace allows us to navigate life with a sense of balance and grace, enhancing our resilience and emotional health. 44. Integrity, the pillar of trust. Integrity in Stoicism is about aligning our actions with our values and principles. It's seen as an unwavering pillar of trustworthiness and honesty. Living with integrity means being consistent in our words and deeds, ensuring that we act according to our ethical beliefs, even when no one is watching. Practicing integrity involves being honest, reliable, and morally upright. It's about standing by our commitments and being true to ourselves. Integrity builds trust and respect in our personal and professional relationships and fosters a sense of self-respect and authenticity. It's a fundamental quality for a life lived with honor and purpose. 45. Calmness, navigating storms with poise. Calmness in Stoicism is the ability to keep a clear mind and steady heart, even in chaotic or stressful situations. It's about navigating life's storms with poise and not being swayed by external turmoil. This quality allows for better decision-making and effective problem-solving, as it involves responding to situations thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. Developing calmness can involve practices like deep breathing, mindfulness, and maintaining a broader perspective on life's challenges. It's about focusing on what can be controlled and letting go of unnecessary worry. A calm demeanor not only helps us cope with stress, but also positively influences those around us, creating a more peaceful and constructive environment. 46. Curiosity, eyes wide open. Curiosity in Stoicism is a thirst for knowledge and understanding, a desire to explore and learn about the world around us. It's about keeping our eyes wide open to new ideas, experiences, and perspectives. This continual quest for learning keeps our minds engaged and fosters a sense of wonder and exploration. Practicing curiosity involves asking questions, seeking out new experiences, and being open to changing our viewpoints. It's about embracing the unknown and being excited about the potential for discovery and growth. A curious mind is an active, vibrant mind, constantly expanding its horizons and deepening its understanding of the world. 47. Empowerment. Unleash your potential. Empowerment in Stoicism is about recognizing and harnessing our inner strength and abilities. It's about taking control of our lives, making choices that align with our goals, and using our talents to make a positive impact. Empowerment is the process of transforming potential into action, enabling us to overcome obstacles and realize our aspirations. Achieving empowerment involves setting clear goals, building self-confidence, and taking proactive steps towards our objectives. It's about believing in our capability to effect change and taking responsibility for our progress. Empowered individuals are more likely to lead fulfilling lives as they actively shape their journey and contribute meaningfully to their communities. 48. Resourcefulness, adapting and thriving. Resourcefulness is the ability to find creative solutions and make the most of available resources. It's like having a Swiss Army knife for life's challenges, where adaptability and ingenuity are key. This Stoic virtue involves thinking outside the box and using what we have at hand to overcome difficulties. Practicing resourcefulness means being flexible, innovative, and resilient in the face of scarcity or constraints. It's about turning limitations into opportunities and finding new ways to achieve our goals. By being resourceful, we not only solve immediate problems but also develop skills and qualities that serve us well in all areas of life. 49. Vulnerability, open heart, open connections. Vulnerability in Stoicism is about opening our hearts and allowing ourselves to be seen in our authentic state. It's about being honest and transparent in our interactions, even when it feels uncomfortable. Embracing vulnerability is a way to foster genuine connections and deepen our relationships. Being vulnerable involves sharing our true feelings, admitting our fears and doubts, and being open to receiving help and support. It's a sign of strength, not weakness, as it requires courage to show our true selves. Vulnerability leads to stronger, more authentic relationships and helps in building trust and empathy with others. 50. Mindful consumption, conscious choices. Mindful consumption is about making conscious and deliberate choices about what we consume, whether it's food, media, or products. It's like being a discerning curator of our own lives, considering the impact of our choices on our well-being and the environment. This principle encourages us to live intentionally, aligning our values with our actions. practicing mindful consumption involves being aware of the origin, production, and implications of our choices. It's about opting for sustainability, reducing waste, and choosing quality over quantity. By consuming mindfully, we not only live more sustainably, but also cultivate a more meaningful and responsible lifestyle. As we conclude this exploration of Stoic philosophy, remember that the wisdom of Epictetus and the 50 timeless rules we've discussed are more than just concepts. They are guides for a life lived with resilience, purpose, and inner peace. Carry these lessons with you and let them illuminate your path to personal growth and fulfillment. If you're inspired to delve deeper into the world of Stoicism, I invite you to watch one of the playlists on your screen now, Stoic Life Lessons and Stoic Habits. These collections will further enrich your understanding and help you integrate Stoic wisdom into your daily life. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and may the Stoic spirit guide you in all your endeavors.